Greetings, ladies and gentle readers. I'm Dwyer, and I just finished reading Speedrunning the Multiverse, a LitRPG cultivation adventure. Oh, that was a read. That was a read for very many reasons. I'm actually surprised I decided to read this. On one hand, it is a LitRPG, and there's a lot of LitRPGs out there nowadays. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good. This one should check all the boxes, is the one that I just should not read. I mean, the title alone kind of gives it away. It's like Speedrunning the Multiverse. What does that mean? Well, does it say it says here, right? It sort of does, not really. The description sucks. Don't worry about it. Essentially, main character, I think this guy here is supposed to be him, but it's not. I don't know who this person here is. It's kind of weird. Suffice to say, you got yourself a god who likes reincarnating himself over and over and over again to see how fast he can get to godhood. Now that right there should raise some flags, because that means this is going to be very wish fulfilling. I mean, if he's like in some kind of speed run to get to godhood, he's probably getting like a whole bunch of whatever lucky things are in this world, and he's gonna get really strong, really fast, blah blah blah. Those are usually the type of books that I don't like. I do not like wish fulfillment, and it's in the title. This is going to be wish fulfillment. So why did I read this? Well, I've been wrong before, and this one I'm not entirely wrong on. Not entirely. Because it absolutely is wish fulfilling. Question is there anything else to the book? You've got all of the warning signs. You've got an author who apparently doesn't want to use their actual name for whatever reason. You've got a very short description. And you don't know this until after you're done reading it, but you also have a description that doesn't actually reflect what's going on in the book. For example, doesn't mention the guy as a god, doesn't mention like where he winds up, doesn't mention, completely mismentions the whole time looping. Maybe there's time looping in later in later books, but in book one, there's no repeating what's gone before in that sense. It's just he's reincarnating himself as like the younger guy and trying to do the thing again. So it's weird. I'm still holding out hope for book two. Book one wasn't terrible. Essentially, he goes back into a guy with like no powers of any sort. Nothing unusual there. The guy was just killed off by a bunch of bullies. That's kind of weird. They literally like put him in a hole filled with scorpions, so he like gets stung to death and blah blah blah. That goes beyond bullying. But okay, sure, it's just those, pesky bullies. Gets ingrained with the family the only family is a sister, so he learns about that. Takes a bit of I'm not going to say shine, that's the wrong word. He has a bit of sympathy for the sister, kind of helps throughout the book. Sure enough, gets lucky over and over again, finds like really powerful items here and powerful items there, and everyone's underestimating him and making stupid bets to give him even more stuff. So yeah, it's absolutely wishful from start to finish. What kept my attention is he seems to be over his head this time. So there is a way forward for the author to actually have to write his way out of a hole. He's putting the character in creatively, and that part I really like. That part I really want to see more of. Because in this book, unfortunately, we've got some setup, but we don't really have any creative extraction from where he winds up in. It's more of a backwards written novel where he's like, okay, I'm putting my character in this kind of a position. So I'm going to give him this power in the earlier chapters. So he's got the exact power he needs to get out of it here. So that's kind of annoying, but it might be saved, in my opinion, with this kind of overarching drama that's occurring throughout like the multiverse apparently while this is going on, how other beings are trying to sway him to actually take a side for a change instead of doing these silly reincarnation speed runs. It seems like you have elements there to be a really, really interesting novel and tell an interesting story, especially since we're in the mind of a character that's lived so long that apparently he just stopped caring about anything. That is also very, very fascinating. It's like you're essentially a god. You've been around for who knows how long. So the birth and death of entire stars turn boring to you. So how does a person like that recover their spark for life? How does a person like that stay interested in anything or care about anything other than themselves? And if the book starts telling that tale, which it kind of seems to want to try to edge towards, with him taking um, essentially the sister of the person he's inhabiting, right? They died, he's inhabiting their body, and that person's sister, he's kind of taking a little bit of a protective role over this person, caring about them when they have no reason to. So if we kind of lean into that a little bit more, and if this person like rediscovers, for lack of a better word, like the joy of the universe, that could make for an interesting tale. That could make for an interesting tale. And it kind of seems like we might be headed there. I don't really know. But there was enough breadcrumbs that I do want to read book 2 and see where we're going with this, or if this is going to remain more of the same over the top bad guys just looking to go and kill everybody, and he's always just like finding things at just the right minute to use in the next chapter. If it's like that, I'll definitely quit it after the next book. If you're interested in that, however, you definitely want to pick up this book. If you love wish fulfillment novels because, I don't know, for whatever reason that you like reading them, then yeah, this is definitely heavily wish fulfillment, with the exception that we don't have romantic interests yet. Yeah, we don't have romantic interests yet. That's like the only thing that's missing from like all of the check marks on the whole wish fulfillment genre. That's probably coming in book 2, though, probably. But yeah, if you're into that, you'll definitely pick this up. I'm holding out hope there's a bit more depth to it. Just a touch. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. For those of you who aren't sure, here's a few more spoils, so warning for y'all right now. This is going to be a bit of a spoiler section. So if you want to avoid them, time to tune out. Alrighty then. So yeah, like I said, he's a god. He's restarting his run, trying to get like godhood like over and over and over again. It's kind of creepy because he's like kept all the bodies of his previous runs in like a sort of award case, so to speak. That's a little bit creepy in the beginning, but okay, never mind. Reincarnates as Io, I think his name was. And he's just been killed off by a bunch of bullies. No. Immediately that right there just strikes you as wrong, because apparently he's in a tribe where there aren't a lot of members. They're all having to pull together because surviving out in the desert is like a zero-sum game. It's like mistakes are not tolerated, you'll get killed. So it's weird to think that out of all of that, there's a group of bullies like you would have at just like any old high school that just kills someone and then buries them. I mean, okay, not quite what we're not quite believable, but sure. Carry on. Anyway, he knows like all about cultivating and leveling up and all that stuff, so he starts shooting up very, very fast. Surprises his sister because he was worthless up until this point, apparently. Surprises the chief of the tribe because he was worthless up until this point, and then suddenly he's like unlocking things, and then he's like leveling up immediately, and he's unlocking this ability and that ability, and That's making some people a little bit nervous, as you would expect. Not a whole lot of depth there. We don't really get treated to him interacting with many people, except for like there's a few people. There's a dude who has abilities but is too afraid to use them. There's a bully who doesn't have ability, or he's average, but he wants to be like the best. There's the tribe alchemy master who is, again, none of this makes any sense. He's lazy and fat and doesn't really want to work or ever make anything, doesn't really know what he's doing. And apparently this is who the tribe uses to survive? How are they not all dead at this point? Like, how can you have that attitude when things fall out of the sky and rip you to pieces? Like, it doesn't make any sense, you know? It doesn't make any sense. The world just isn't very believable. But while that's going on, we're told that the world essentially is falling under the banner of like some kind of tyrant. And now our main character's in trouble because his tribe is the next one to fall under the banner of this tyrant, and the main character's not too thrilled about that. So they go off, the tribe, they go off to try to like rally allies to their cause. Main character's trying to figure out where he fits in all of this. I think there's a lot more that could have been done there to really have him reflect on what it is he's doing, given all of these lives and, you know, what everyone else is going through. We don't really have any of that, unfortunately. But we see the hint that, again, he might start asking like the bigger questions, because he does, for no reason whatsoever, he does have a little bit of a soft spot for the sister of the body he's inhabiting. So he goes out of his way to protect her, make her a bit stronger so she can carry her own weight. And that aspect is really interesting. And where that's going to go, in my opinion, is very, very interesting. Fortunately, we don't really go anywhere with it too terribly far in this one. He finds just more power on the way to the meetup. There's a tournament, of course, and during the prelims, he just like sails through all of those as well. Over the course of that, he finds out there's a god taking a hand in the world around him, and that's kind of annoying him, because it's going to ruin his speed run, oh no. And as you imagine throughout all of this, as he's getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and through the stupid alchemist is completely worthless, starts brewing potions because he becomes his apprentice too. Starts getting more and more money. The chief gets more and more worried until a self-fulfilling prophecy occurs where the chief is worried that the main character is going to ditch them, but because of the way he's treating them, yeah, he's going to ditch them, obviously. And they've got a little bit of kerfuffle over that. Overall, it's an interesting book. I will give it a second. No, I won't. I won't give it a second read. But I will wait for this guy to come out. When is this coming out? October 11th. Hopefully this is a little bit more interesting and has a bit more like, who am I and what am I doing here kind of thing to it. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, Speedrunning the Multiverse, LitRPG Adventure by Ad Astra, I guess. It's your average book. If you absolutely hate the good old genre that is wish fulfillment, you're going to hate it. If you like wish fulfillment, you'll like it. If you're somewhere in between, maybe. That's my review. Happy reading, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Take care, buddy.